I think it's a fascinating career. So you're working with these athletes. You're teaching NFL stars how to tackle. You're teaching squash players how to do whatever. You're teaching goalies how to pop up.
Golfers.
Tennis
players,
yeah. You have back to this kind of focus thing. I don't know if this fits in the focus category, but I remember that you took a professional golfer and taught them how to putt by having them hit golf balls with their eyes closed.
Right. Yeah.
So what's that all about?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I'll tell you the one story because it was the most dramatic. I've worked with people on tour, LPGA tour, PGA tour, right? But there was a golfer who was a pro at a club, and he needed the pros to get that have to go through a test to actually get that pro designation at a golf club. And he had to take the test, and you had to play, I think it was 3 rounds, and you had to score a certain level in order to get it, right? And he was extraordinarily nervous, and he was particularly nervous when he was putting. And he really got nervous if anybody watched him. So the way I know somebody is, instead of you telling me about like what you think the problem is and so forth, I say, okay, let's go out. So we go out to a regulation golf course, and I just watch. I said, play a couple of holes. Let me just watch you. Because again, I go back to, if I watch somebody, I sort of learn everything about them, right? So I kind of see his thing. So I put down 3 balls. We're about maybe 75 yards from this green. And I put them down. I said, go ahead, hit these 3. So he hits the 3 up onto the green, but they're all like 30 feet, 35 feet, 40 feet away from the hole. So as we're walking up to the green, it just turns out that the whole landscaping crew, there were about 8 of them, tractors, all kinds of stuff, all of them had just come to this green. And they see us walking up, and so they all stop, and they're like leaning back on the tractors and everything else, and there's 8 of them there, right?
Yeah.
And these people all work at the club,
right?
And they know who he is. And I can see as he's walking up there that he is getting, like he's starting to die. I mean, really, it was really strong. So he gets up to the first ball, and he's going to putt it, and I said, and I could just see this was going to be almost an embarrassment for him in some way. So I thought I'd take the pressure off of him in some way. And I said, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes when you hit this ball. And before you open them, I want you to tell me where the ball went. Did it go left or right, far or short of the hole? So in a way, I kind of saw it was almost like a little relief, because now he's going to hit, with his eyes closed. So he goes up. This ball is 40 feet from the hole. And it's an undulating green. It's not even a flat green. He hits the ball, goes up this little undulation, down this one, up this one, rolls, curves, and goes into the hole. Now, we were close enough that all the grounds crew could hear that I had asked him to close his eyes. And I hear one of them say, did he have his eyes closed? And the guy goes, yeah, I think he did. So then, first of all, this guy's amazed that the ball went in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost like in shock. It wasn't like he was happy or sad or anything. He just didn't even know what to make of it. Right. So he goes up to the second ball. He lines it up. I said, close your eyes. You're going to tell me again where it went. He hits the ball up and down and over, and it goes into the hole again. Well, these guys now on the tractors are like, they're all looking at each other, and like I can hear them like whispering and talking to each other and so forth. And then this guy who just hit the ball in is still kind of in disbelief that the ball has gone in. So I said, let's do it one more time. And so he goes up to the ball and again closes his eyes, and he literally, this is like almost
hard to
believe.
Right.
He sinks the third ball with his eyes closed. And now the guys on the tractors just go crazy, and like they start cheering and everything. Well, this guy went from like crawling up onto the green. Suddenly his chest is out, and he's like walking off the green like he's on top of the world, But my point there is, I've had more people sink putts with their eyes closed than open, and I've had somebody do it actually in a tournament. They had one guy, I won't say who, on a PGA tour, and he just was not having a good day. And he gets up to the green, and he has maybe a 20-foot putt, whatever it was, and he, in his head, said, what the heck? He closes his eyes, he hits it, and it goes in. And it was like, it flipped his whole game around like at that moment, because then he realized, what am I doing? You know, like he was back to like some of the old stuff he had been, and that kind of almost like shook him out of it. But the point is, people say, well, how can that be? Like, how do you put balls with your eyes closed? It's actually not that mysterious. 70% of our vision takes up 70% of our attention, which means then you only have 30% left on other things like kinesthetic awareness, being able to feel your body in space kind of thing, right? So when you close your eyes, 100% of all that you have is actually only focused on the two things that affect where the ball's going to go. The amount of force you're putting into it and the angle of the club head. And you can feel those like amazingly well. You can get to where you feel, I mean.
The sight is distracting.
It can be. I mean, obviously you need sight to do certain things. If a ball's being thrown at you, you need sight, okay? But in this case, it's an activity where the ball's not moving. And all you got to do is be able to feel the force you're hitting it with and the angle that you hit it at. And you can get amazingly good at it. As a matter of fact, this was another amazing one. I was giving a talk, and I was doing a sports performance talk, and I asked for a volunteer from the audience to come up, and this young guy comes up, and I did the golf thing on the stage, right? So it's on a stage, so I couldn't put down a hole, right? So I put a little bottle, it was like whiteout or something, that was maybe 15 or 20 feet away. I put down a couple of balls. As a matter of fact, I put down 5 balls, and I said to him, okay, I want you to try to hit the whiteout bottle, right? He gets up there, hits first one, hits the bottle. Second one hits the bottle. Third one hits the bottle. Fourth one hits the bottle. Fifth one he misses. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a terrible, terrible like thing here because he's going to do worse. I'm going to try to show something that would make you better, and he's going to absolutely, be worse. So I thought, well, I started this. I might as well just keep going, see what happens with it, right? So I said, well, now what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to tell me where the ball goes. Does it go left or right, far or short, before you open your eyes? And I'll tell you right now, the reason I'm repeating that, everybody wants to open their eyes immediately.
Right.
As soon as you hit the ball, everybody opens their eyes. I'm like, sometimes I have to say, what did I tell you? Don't open your eyes. You got to tell me first where it went. This guy hits 5 in a row with his eyes closed. Mm. And I thought to myself, well, first of all, thank you, Jesus, right? Because he actually did better, right? And I said to him, what sport are you in? And he goes, I'm a wrestler. And I said, you are in the wrong sport. You should be in golf, But the point being, when your eyes are closed, 100% is focused on feeling the force you're hitting with and the direction that your hands are turned on the club head. And you can be amazingly precise at being able to feel what you did with that.
I'm positive of this reality because even when I shoot foul shots, to this day, I go out and shoot foul shots all the time with my kids, and I just make them rebound for me so I don't have to move. That's awesome. But very frequently I have closed my eyes and start shooting, and what I can tell is that all of a sudden I feel like I'm off balanced, or my elbow's flaring.
Yes, very good.
Or my hand goes left or right.
Yep.
And you are 10 times more aware of your body when you close your eyes.
Absolutely.
I've noticed that many times.
And that's a good example too, because in basketball, you're stationary, the basket's stationary.
Yeah, a foul shot's very much like a putt.
You could do foul shots with your eyes closed all day long.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks guys for checking out the Conor Gallagher Show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment, or whatever you got to do to support it. And I appreciate that very much.